Good afternoon. This is Richard Nikoley, freetheanimal.com, coming to you from the island of Lanta in southern Thailand. It is about, I don't know, perhaps 100 kilometers from Phuket, where I live. About an hour and a half by speed ferry boat. I did it over two things. I went to Koh Phi Phi and that stayed overnight there because the seats were full for the onward trip to Koh Lanta, and then came out here the next day. I'm doing everything by no reservations. When was it? Thursday morning I was working, and I'd already looked and seen that a ferry leaves from Rosada Pier, which is about a half an hour drive on my motorbike, and I said, I'm gonna go to Koh Lanta, not knowing anything, not reserving a ticket or anything. I love no reservations travel, so I tossed everything in the backpack in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and clothes are the least important. The most important is the laptop and the camera gear. I have two tripods. I stayed the night in PP, which my newsletter on the 10th went out. It's on the blog as well, but if you missed it in email, then you missed the free opportunity. So if you like this stuff, go to freetheanimal.com and get on the free newsletter. You should be able to find it. There's sign-up forms. Give me your name and email address. That's it. You get free content twice a week, Wednesday and Sunday, and I'm going to be holding myself to a publication deadline. So at least I'm trying to. It might take a few weeks until I get into the swing of it, because I just put it out there on Thursday. It's supposed to be Wednesday. And here it is Saturday afternoon, and another one is going to be due within 24, 25, 26, about 26 hours. 27 hours, something like that. So, anyway, I wrote all about PP in that, the night I spent there. I don't care for that much. I did go once during peak COVID, and there was no tourists there. It was mostly Thai people, because the government was subsidizing trips just to help everybody out. So it was quite charming, actually, as opposed to the young face and phone dope smoking crowd. So nothing against marijuana, but not my favorite thing anymore. When I was their age, it was. But I think it's called dope for a reason. It's funny. Alcohol never made me feel like really fucking stupid. Marijuana gives me the illusion I'm being smart, but I'm really stupid. Right? Trivial, banal shit is what you talk about and think about. At least I do. I'm not going to diversion on that. This is kind of just a meandering thing, because I'm really enjoying it here. This is a very, very laid-back island, and this morning I did a video tour of where I'm on the patio of my $8 a night modern bungalow. This is the place I stayed in for the one night in Phi Phi, not having reservations and just having to walk around. Left much to be desired. I put the word room in scare quotes, and this made up for it, though. 4 nights for $32. and it's perfect. I mean, they took the time to really clean things up and during the COVIDiocy, and which was the smart thing to do for a lot of these places, because now they're primed. Tourism is coming back big. I saw in the news that there was 50,000 arrivals in one day the other day. So, you know, still a ways to get up to the 40 million in 2019, but they'll get there. So it's just sad that so many viable businesses couldn't make it, right? So there's quite a lot of hulks and skeletons still around, but you know, money will come back in, and if they were viable, there was a good reason, and so if there is the tourism, then you know, someone will come in, if not the original folks, if they can find a way to raise the capital to get it back up and going. But a lot of people without much means at all were left very worse off, and so, you know, those are the real casualties of war here. And of course, a lot of the rich got fabulously rich because most competition was eliminated. Right? But that is the fascist world, modern world we live in right now. Government and corporate partnerships all over the world. Right? So anyway, let's get to some fun. So I got on the cool thing is that the speedboat ride from PP to here is like a half an hour. When I say speedboats, these are ferries. They're called speedboat ferries, and they carry about 40 on average. Some are a bit smaller, maybe carry 30. The average one has 3 outboard 250 horsepower engines. So that's 750 horsepower. And they are about, I would say, 40 feet long-ish, can carry about 40 passengers, and they cruise at 65 kilometers per hour. I mean, they're fast. That's fast for a boat, let me tell you. There's a lot of resistance, so they eat up a lot of gas, right? Then there are some that are even a little bit bigger. You'll see ones with 4 outboards, and even the occasional one with 5 outboards. Those could be carrying up to 60 people. You know, it's amazing. They're fun to be in. But if you ever do one, sit as far back as you can. I always like to try this one time. I'd like to try to be at the front or near the front of the line for boarding, because then I take those very back seats right in front of the outboard motors. Why? Because if it's choppy seas, then the boat's going like this, and if you ride in the front, you might need to go get your kidneys checked to see that they didn't jolt loose during the ride. I shit you not. It's like it's something else. All right. I've done a lot of these trips, and some long ones, like going out to Lanta. No, not Lanta. That's where I am. Lipe a couple of years ago. It's 70 kilometers off the mainland. So it's like just over an hour to get there, like an hour and 10 minutes. So yeah. Anyway, so I get here, and if you Google Koh Lanta, Kohlanta, 2 words. You see it's a long island, and I would say, what is it, maybe 20 kilometers-ish long, side to side, maybe 5, well, at the widest part, maybe 8-ish, something like that. So it's, you know, long and narrow, like Phuket, just Phuket's a much bigger scale. So I think, well, but on the west coast, there's the area that you'll be able to see called Long Beach, and it's a long beach. That's why they call it that, and that's where most of the stuff is. But it's sparse. Stuff is laid out, so you really need a motorbike here. There's little enclaves where there's a lot of places. So if you stayed in a hotel there, then you can walk to your restaurants and bars and whatever you want to do. There's no girl bars on the island as far as I've been able to find, and I haven't looked very hard. Actually, I haven't gone out. The latest I've been out from here in the evening is like 7 p.m. anyway. So I don't know, maybe tonight ask around. I've had some good food here. Last night I had shepherd's pie at Irish Embassy. I am glad I did. It was really so good. And then yesterday I didn't go out during the day because it was rainy, and we're in this thing. Let me talk to that in just a little bit here. Let me finish this first. But today was like sunny in the morning. I looked on the weather, and it's supposed to be sunny all day. The weather apps are notoriously unreliable, which I get to as well. But anyway, it turned out to be correct. Hasn't rained today, and it was sunny. Now it's getting a little bit overcast, but it was sunny, perfect temperature. So I just drove, and Koh Lanta is just wonderful. It's such a relief because you can drive, and there's just not many other vehicles on the roads. So then the roads are nice because there's not so much traffic on them. So when they build them, they last. And I drove over to the east coast of the island and drove down that. Went to a place called Old Town, which is the first place that was settled here on Koh Lanta by Chinese. And the story goes they shipwrecked or something and ended up staying here. Hundreds of years ago. It's a very little place, typical, tourist thing, just restaurants. But it's on the waterfront that's not beach, so it has these piers, kind of like, pilings and with a platform on top, so that you sit out on the deck over the water. And then I went down from there. I didn't eat. I just had a cup of iced Americano. Coffee. And it was getting to be about 12:31, and I'm thinking I might head back over to the west side because there's a place there called French Bakery. And I was looking at their menu, and and it just looks excellent in terms of baguettes, and I wanted a jambon beurre, which is Paris ham, and butter, not salted butter, on a perfect French baguette. Cornichon, you can have it with little gherkin pickles too if you want. It's great. And I was jonesing for one of those. Now, Paris ham is unique. It's typically boiled. So this boiled ham, it's not cured nor is it smoked. It's a distinctive flavor. It's used on their pizzas, and it's used in their sandwiches where there's ham. It's very good. I recommend it. Jambon de Paris ham. So anyway, I thought, well, but first I'm going to drive. See, these islands sometimes are like this. So let me get my hands right. I'm on the edge of the camera. So there's a west side, the east side, and there's roads going down to the southern tip on both of them, but they don't join. So you can't go all the way around the island. So I thought, well, I'm going to go down the eastern side just to see what's down there. And so I'm driving along, and I see this sign, Baja Tacos. I'm like, what the fuck, Baja Tacos? And I keep driving down to the end, and then on the way back, I come upon it again, and there's like 6 motor scooters sitting out in front, out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's on the coast, but this is part. I mean, there's a place maybe once every 2 kilometer or 2. There's just not, and it's jungle on one side and jungle down to the ocean on the other, right? So you park your bike up on the road and then walk down. I said, I gotta check this out. So walk down, and there's like 5 people in there. It's just cute place, and there's this guy there, and I start talking to him. He said we went to Mexico when COVID lockdown started here in Thailand, because we saw that Mexico wasn't paying much attention to stuff, and he said these tacos are great. I said, well, I've been in Mexico, and I was married to a descendant of Mexico for 18 years. So I gotta check these out. So I had the steak taco, and I had the fish taco. And let me tell you, it is the best tacos I've had since a good taco place, in California or in Mexico. Fucking awesome. The salsas were perfect. Right? Now they did them on flour tortillas, not the corn tortillas. I've never seen corn tortillas here except for in the markets that specialize in for foreigners. You can get those like Taco Bell taco shells. The corn that are already wrapped, and they put the little cardboard piece in there so they don't crush. I think I still have one of those in my refrigerator. But otherwise, you can get flour tortillas here. They're pricey, because I don't know why somebody doesn't make them here, So anyway, they were so good. I couldn't believe it. I got pictures. Plus, the presentation was beautiful. They were huge portion tacos. So they weren't like the little street tacos, which I love. In Mexico, I'll eat 9 or 10 of them. They have the 2 corn tortillas, so just to keep the calorie carb down, I just use the bottom tortilla as like a plate, and then eat it with the one tortilla. The other tortilla just helps it from falling completely apart. You guys who've had the little Mexican street tacos know what I'm talking about. They're just, you can't beat them. It's quite 3 bites worth. That's why you can eat 10 of them. So anyway, they were great. And so then I still went to the French place, and I ordered a pizza, a ham and mushroom pizza, and I ate just a few pieces and brought the rest back. It's just awesome. Ham and mushroom. It's good. The French call it la reine, which is the queen, and and they had the chili oil to drizzle on top. I mean, it was like, man, this is the best pizza I've had. Here's the thing: people think Italians. The French are at least as good at pizza as the Italians. I shit you not. And I lived in France for a couple of years, and the French do good pizza. So anyway, then I came back and took a dip in the pool, and I thought, well, I got one more day tomorrow. I stopped by a gym owned by Luke from England, and great gym, clean, nice equipment and everything. 80 baht, no, 200 baht. 80 baht is the place I sometimes go to in Rawai for a day pass. 200 bahts, that's $5 for a day. So I'm going to go in there and get some deadlifts in and some other stuff. But deadlifts are always the most important. Deadlifts, leg presses, and then all the upper body stuff, whatever I want. Then, okay, let's talk about weather. So there's meteorology, there's macrometeorology, there's climatology, and there's micrometeorology. Now, micrometeorology is what's happening local. So it's influenced. It's a function of the prevailing. It's part of the weather in general, you have climatology, which is the general area, and you have seasonal, and then you have the macro and the micro. And the micro is a function of everything, but it has its own peculiarities because of the geography right there, water, those are the primary things. Geography, like hills, stuff, and water nearby. So island is where micrometeorology gets insane. So island weather is very interesting. And the starkest example that I think, that I have ever seen is the island of Maui in Hawaii. So the Hawaiian Islands, there's no landmass anywhere near, right? It's just them. And Maui, it has Haleakala, which is an elevation of over 10,000 feet. It's 10,000 something feet. It's high. And it's not a mountain that goes like this, like a cone, even though it's a volcano. It's spread out wide. It's not steep. It doesn't have steep slopes at all. All right. So everyone's probably heard about so first of all, you have trade winds. Trade winds blow towards the equator, right? From subtropical areas to the equator, because the equator you basically have the convection of, sun beating on the water, warm air going up, and then the trade winds are coming in to fill the void. And they blow constantly, pretty much all year round. Very rare when they stop. There'll be periods where they're less, of course, but they almost never stop completely. And they're from the constant direction and pretty much constant speed all the time, which is significant. You know it, right? So on the windward, so for an island in the trade winds, you have what's called the windward side. That's the side the wind hits, and the leeward side. That's the side away from the wind. Okay, so for Maui and Haleakala, everybody who's been there has heard of the drive to Hana, and that's up at the north end. I would say it must be like the northeastern tip of Maui, I believe. And so if you drive there, and it's on the coast, all right? So you've got the trade winds coming in, and they're hitting Haleakala, and it's raising, it's bringing this moisture-laden air up higher and higher and higher, and it hits dew point, so it pisses rain. So when you drive into Hana, it's just raining all the time. It's like a rainforest. It's just always raining, right? Now, when you get to Hana, then you can continue on and violate your car rental lease contract like I did. And it's not a big deal. There's one pretty gnarly part of road for a little bit where you're like literally right on the water, the ocean. And so you drive around, and then suddenly you're on the leeward side of Haleakala, and it is literally a moonscape. There's no vegetation. You could shoot it there and make people believe you're on the moon. I shit you not. And so that's the contrast. Rainforest on one side, that's island micro meteorology. And so that's the extreme. But you've got that sort of thing going on here. So like during rainy season, you have the northeasterly winds. Northeasterly, I think. No, they're blowing from the west. Okay, so during rainy season, they're blowing from the west, which is off the Andaman Sea. You know, coming from basically India, if you will, right? Coming from the west, blowing across. So it's moisture laden, so we get in the rain, right? And then when the season ends, they come from the east, which is over the peninsula, which, you know, Thailand and Malaysia, that goes all the way down to Singapore, Malacca Straits, Indonesia. So you have the drier season and just epic weather. Of course, that pertains to all of Thailand, the dry season. But the micrometeorology is, you do get rain here during that time, whereas other places in Thailand you get hardly any. Right? So anyway, there's that. It's very interesting. And I got into micrometeorology because of flying hang gliders. You really have to know, you know, you can look at weather shit all you want, but you need to be able to look around and ascertain stuff that's right there, right before you. So you become kind of a little bit of a lay meteorologist if you fly like that. All right, where am I? Rambling. So today was a great day, and I don't know when tomorrow's my last day here, and I don't know that I'm going to go on Monday. I don't know whether I'm going to go straight back to Phuket, or I might go over to Onang for a night or two, take the ferry to Onang, which is in Krabi. I've been there before, but it was during COVID, and it's a little bit of a party place, and I'd be interested to see what it's like now. Might be worth a couple of nights, and I can just get another ferry down to Phuket from there. So I guess that's it for this video. Ciao.